Hello YouTube and fellow Star Wars collectors. On this episode of Toys Are the Way, we'll be taking a look to see if there's any TVC or something worth picking up during my toy hunt at Ollie's. Welcome back, gang. So I've seen a bunch of different posts in the community from people who are finding some vintage collection items at Ollie's. So I figured, what the heck, it's a nice fall day, let's go take a drive and see what we can find. Unfortunately, at this first location, didn't look like I was, hitting the jackpot when it comes to TVC. There was definitely a lot of 6-inch scale. That Endor Leia is definitely one we've wanted to see in the 3 3/4 scale, but sadly, it was offered in the Black Series. Would have been a good one to see for the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary, but I digress. Definitely a lot of stuff here, as you can see, and it's just kind of mind-boggling how much, how many action figures are just made in the world in general, and a lot of them are showing up here for liquidation. Not sure, if it's just problems with retail or, just character selection. I did find this Hammond collection figure, which I already have in my collection, but it was a pretty decent price, and I was pretty tempted to pick that up, but I figured, I'll just wait and see if it's here the next time that I come to check, because a lot of these items do sit here for quite a bit of time, and as you can see, there is a bunch of stuff. I was definitely very bummed out to see this Omega figure here, as well as Fifth Brother. Those are just characters that I really want to see in my collection, and they weren't offered to the vintage collection. So, a bit of a bummer. And then over here we have some more 6-inch stuff, Dengar, more Fifth Brother, plenty of Emperor, and a lot of retro collection from the Mandalorian and Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Also, a Force Link figure from way back in the day, and some of this Solo stuff, actually, which this is actually a pretty cool set just because it comes with this cage, and it does have, that little beast in there, so I was pretty tempted to pick that up, and it's a good world-building piece, but yeah, just so much stuff. The Mission Fleet stuff was just always a little mind-boggling to me. I don't know if children are really excited to play with a figure that's, kind of weird in proportions, but I don't know. They definitely got a lot of world building stuff, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, some of those vehicles and those E-Webs and stuff that were offered for Mission Fleet really should have been in TVC instead. But yeah, it's just a bit of a shame to also see Fifth Brother here in the retro collection. Definitely an Inquisitor I want to add to my vintage collection. But here we are, and yeah, like I said earlier, definitely pretty bummed on Omega and just the lack of Bad Batch in the vintage collection. But they're here at Ollie's if you are a 6-inch collector and you're trying to find these things for maybe your shelf display. So good luck to you. So, as you can see, there's not much for me as I am a 375 collector, and yeah, I was hoping to find some Incinerator Troopers or the Vintage Collection Deluxe E-Web cannons, because I always need more army builders for my collection, but yeah, not much here that's speaking to me, so I figured I'd check out one more location and see if there was anything worth picking up. So after a few pit stops and a jump or two through Lightspeed, we arrive at our second location, and I was really hoping that this would be a bit more fruitful, and right off the bat it was a lot of the same from the previous store. Just loads and loads of 6-inch action figures, a lot of Black Series, and a lot of Marvel stuff that I'm not familiar with. I was pretty sad to see more Grief Kargas here. Definitely a good figure, especially the one in Vintage Collection, and yeah, just sad to see, Carl Weathers ending up at Ollie's. This was a crazy display. All of this Young Jedi Adventure stuff and Mission Fleet was just like, it is so crazy how much of this they produced, and I guess it didn't sell very well, so pretty sad, but yeah, it was also a little comical to see. A lot of Black Series, as you can see that, and a lot of, Grief Kargas, even Migs Mayfield, which is a bit of a bummer to see. I would love to have that in Vintage Collection, and yeah, it's just not very good to see a lot of these characters not doing well. Tons of retro, as per usual, and if any of you check out Ollie's, I bet you see a lot of retro. Sad to see the Client here too. That's another one we need to see in Vintage Collection. It is an essential character for my Mandalorian shelf display. And then the surprising figure was Island Rey. There were quite a few of them. Somebody even decided it was so cool that they need to steal that figure. And yeah, that was pretty much the only Vintage Collection figure that I was seeing so far. And I was actually going to pick up a couple of those because it's a decent figure for customs, but I was just like very amazed that there was that many of them here. As you can see, tons and tons of retro collection and 6-inch figures, which is, just a bit of a shame, but it is what it is at the end of the day. And then I thought this was kind of funny. Dr. Evazan from the Black Series, a New Hope Cantina patron, and yeah, just a funny one to see considering it's recently been repacked in vintage collection, but with swivel hips. And for twice the cost of that all new 6-inch version that is just, now sitting at Ollie's. But at the end of the day, I was happy to find some vintage collection figures, so I picked up 2 Island Journey Rays for customs and this solo Force Link set. I hope you've enjoyed this video and taking a look at my recent toy hunt at Ollie's. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you live near an Ollie's? Have you had any success checking these stores out? I want to hear about it. And don't forget to smash a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is always greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone, and may the Force be with you.